welcome you to a sort of a different sort of video. One of the things I'm doing is I'm experimenting a little with the green screen. I'm looking at my picture here and I'm just realizing I may have worn the wrong shirt to try out green screen. But fun fact, I'm a little behind on my laundry. You don't know this, but right up here above my head I have socks hanging because I don't have a dryer. And so I'm teaching in class today with my freshmen, and one of the girls suddenly says, "Mr. Squirrel," that's not what they call me, but we'll just pretend, "did you forget to wash your clothes?" I'm like, "What?" And she says, "because I can see you're not wearing a white t-shirt." Well, yeah, it was this t-shirt. She could clearly see this, and there's some writing on the back, too. And yes, I was wearing this underneath my dress shirt and tie, because, yeah, I really did forget to do my laundry last night, and I was out of white t-shirt. So, there you go. So experimenting a little with the green screen. I'm playing a little bit with the sound. Set up the lights a little differently. I think, you know, looking at my preview, I think I look better, but then I see a weird kind of blue line here, so I don't know. I'll find out. So all that aside, and I remembered to turn off my dehumidifier this time, even though there's laundry drying, so I better remember to turn it back on. But the real reason I filmed this video is I wanted to talk about not how I pick pens to buy, although that might make an interesting video too, but how I pick pens to review. And I have a few samples laying here. I was a little playful with what I put in the background for a while there, just to find out if I could. But I have a few examples. Now, one of the pens laying here, this is an SKB F20 Penton. I love the way it looks, I love the way it writes, I love the way it feels, until it quits writing. I did resaturate the feed, so it is writing right now. But, yeah, if I have to resaturate your feed, that's usually a bad sign. And so that brings up the question, will I be reviewing the pen? And the answer is no. I've owned several pens over the years that I've just said, no, you don't deserve a review. That's one of them. I think the ability to write reliably is important to making a review. I love everything about the pen, except that. And I'm really disappointed too, because I really like this pen a lot. And so what I do when I review a pen is I have to be able to say a lot of good things about it. Now, if there are quirks, I usually try and find a way to, yeah, okay, here's the things I don't like, but here's what's good about it. I try and find what's good. But sometimes, like this pen, you just reach that point where it's like, okay, yeah, there's so much good, but the one thing that the pen has to do, which is write, doesn't do. And that's really disappointing because, like I said, I really like the pen. Now I have a few other pens here. This one, kind of interesting. I picked it to review, not really to own, just to review because it's neat. In fact, I see Nathan Tardif is going to come out with something like this. And I don't remember its name, I'm sorry. But totally different idea behind his pen, of course. But a neat little pocket pen. I bought it because it's fun to write with, but of course, I always give a pen at least one full fill before I'll review it. Now that pen has been through 2 cartridges. One thing I learned is do not let this pen dry out. You got to write with it every day. But hey, that's a quirk I can work with. This is a pen that will write. This one, doesn't matter if I'm writing with it every day. At some point, it's just going to say, yeah, I'm done. And I've tried 3 different kinds of ink in it. You know, exotic to common, and it still has that problem. So I'm leaning toward I'm not the problem here. So won't be reviewing this pen. This was a pen that, you know, very reliable. I bought just for me. You know, kind of different. It's a exotic Chinese brand. Delike pen. I like it. In fact, you were supposed to see the review for that pen this week, but I moved it off a week because I wanted to try out the green screen and the lighting before I do my pens in use tomorrow night. Because I'm line judging Thursday night, so I got to get it done tomorrow. Let's see, this Lamy 2000, awesome pen. And there you're starting to wander into the world of pens that I'm buying for me. If I review it and it's pricier, like, well, let's categorize here. And by the way, if anybody is noticing, I listened to some viewer comments and I did change the background. That is still that same yucky wooden table, just a different finish on it. I laid like a rubberized mat on top of it. I mean, it's not exciting, but it works. This Waterman Carène. Oh, the lighting is still not perfect on it, but getting better. And I'm thinking this will be good lighting for writing sample. Icentro pen, which I love. And I'm getting hiccups in the middle of this video. I'm sorry, just pause. Okay, I don't think I've ever gotten hiccups in the middle of a video, but I could feel it like starting. I was just like, no! So I excised that part of the video where I had to hold my breath till the hiccups stopped. But anyway, so my more expensive pens are definitely ones that I purchased for me. The cheaper ones, they just have to look interesting, and then they have to pass my writing tests. And I'm not hard on them, I just write. If they quit writing, I'll write pages at a time sometimes with them. This poor guy failed in the middle of correcting freshman physical science tests, among other things. I mean, I quit during some letters this summer and whatnot. Disappointing. Now, I know some reviewers have gotten pens loaned to them by different manufacturers or retailers. I'm a small channel. Nobody's going to pay attention to me. I thought. I did actually get sent 3 pens, and I have reviewed them already. They are going to be given away. I thought about giving away on the channel, but then I realized after what I said about them, it's just like, here, have the crap that I don't want. So, yeah, no. I'm going to give them away to students. I'm planning some kind of fountain pen day or Christmas giveaway of pens, and maybe, well, they'll be among the giveaways. Anyway, I hated that experience, and maybe it would have been better if they were better pens, but I can't help but think, I felt obligated to do those reviews, and I felt very hemmed in. What can I say, what can't I say? Especially because I didn't like them. I ended up probably being nastier than I normally would have been to pens like those. Like, if I had bought them myself, I probably wouldn't have said everything I said. I was just like, I hate these things. So I probably went overboard. It's just like, for a teacher, they might be tough, but they're always tougher on their own kid. And yet all the kids' classmates think that they're easy on their kid. That kind of thing. I just like, So, but yeah, I didn't like those pens. And nobody's approached me since then, which is totally fine with me. I have been sent a few pens by viewers who like my work. I definitely don't encourage that, just because that puts me under an obligation. I've got a pen right now I really should have returned a long time ago. I just haven't filmed the review yet because I've been busy. And, I feel bad about that. And luckily it's one I'm going to say nice things about. But and then I've been sent a few pens as gifts. I had a viewer from Janesville, Wisconsin, send me a few vintage Parkers that she unearthed at yard sales for minimal cash. That's been most of the pens I've been given, is minimal cash type pens. I got a few vintage pens from, I don't think she's actually a viewer. I think she's only a pen pal, but and, I haven't heard from her. A little worried. I won't give away her specific location, but she lives in Florida, and yeah, I'm hoping she's all right. She's in one of the places I wouldn't want to be right now. But anyway, she sent me a whole bunch of vintage pens, and that was kind of fun. I think they were minimal cost to her, but meant a lot to me. I mean, I enjoyed them, and I passed a few on. She got one of the nicest ones. I sent another one to somebody that I know. So I don't mind doing that. It was kind of fun to restore those pens. They were right on my skill level. I have a Schaefer there that's one of those aerometric fillers that's going to be a little more interesting to fill or to repair. But anyway, but if I review it, I've usually tested it, unless there's a reason not to. You know, the one I sent back to her after repairing it, I only inked up once. You saw the... I did it recently, and the name is already gone. It was kind of a no-name. Servo pen I did. That only got one fill. But in general, I try and be on at least my second fill, if not more. All the pens you see laying here, I have filled... Well, the ones you... Obviously, the ones I've had for reviews, I've filled a lot. But these guys that I've not filmed reviews for yet, have all been filled multiple times. And I cheat sometimes with pens in use. I don't show all the pens I'm using. Why? I don't know. I just... sometimes I just don't want people to know I have it yet because I'm still trying to decide if I like it. I was that way with the Lamy Dialogue 3. Took me a long time because that was an expensive pen, even though I bought it for quite a lot less than its normal retail price, and I'll talk about that when I review it. That'll be my first October review, by the way. No, it won't. I lied. It'll be in October, though. I will guarantee that, because it's filmed. But anyway, so what about the pens I buy? Like the Centro pen. This is, and I'm not going to tell you what I paid for it. I am embarrassed. Plus, I don't want taxpayers where I work to know what I paid for it because I'm embarrassed, and they'll say, well, we're paying them teachers too much. It is the most expensive pen I've ever bought. Sad to say, a lot of the fountain pens out there would look at this and say, really? That's not expensive, but to me it was. It was a gamble. I had never seen a review of it. I had never seen anything about this brand. This is my gateway into vintage pens, by the way. I just saw it and I'm just like, wow. And I read the description. I know the sales website in myuberpens.com was really over-complimentary. They all are about all their pens. No retailer says, well, this pen's a piece of crap. Why don't you buy it? So they were really kind about it, but you know, it doesn't quite match the description. They talk about this large oversized pen and oversized nib and so on. You know, it's more standard size, but doggone if I don't love this writing with this pen. And it's got such a beautiful finish and unique brand. And that sent me on a whole tour toward vintage pens, and I lean more toward the vintage pens that nobody's ever heard of. My Pon 52 that I traded with a gentleman in Norway. My Swan Maybe Todd. You know, I have a Cora, and what's the other one? Anyway, I have a number of pens that are from the Netherlands. I'm not sure. I'm having trouble finding much about the companies, which is why I haven't reviewed them yet. But you know, I love that, just the finding the exotic. I have a custom Japanese pen that I really like. Now, I will also say with the newer pens, like this Waterman Karen, that's a darn pricey pen. You better believe I watched a lot of reviews on that. And then I found a used one. So I got it for double-digit price, we'll just say, for a pen that's usually quite a lot more than that, several times more. When I buy pens, I do look at used, I look at lower prices, but sometimes the bug really hit me to get a Platinum President, and I've been so curious about that pen for a long time, and I've always been able to talk myself out of it. And then I stumbled across the nibsmith.com, and he offered nib customization. I'd just done that Swan Maybe Todd that had the cursive italic nib, and I wanted another one, and I saw that was one of the customizations, and I weakened. I bought it. I think I've told you that's the pen that was paid for out of advertising dollars. I haven't gotten any checks since. You know, I'm a small channel, and advertising dollars just trickle in, and we're not supposed to say the exact amount, so I won't. But you know, it's going to be months before I can buy another one for that price. But moral of the story is, I love it, and when I get that review filmed, I'll be one of the few reviews of a really nice pen. So yeah, I look at other reviewers. Now, what's been nice is some reviewers like Chris Rapp. I don't know if he's done the Delight New Moon. He did one with a bent nib. But some of the reviewers like Chris Rapp have explored some of these lower cost pens. And I really like that because, yes, expensive pens are fun. I mean, this Centro pen will be my friend for life. This is never going to be a giveaway. It's never going to be on sale. It's my buddy forever. When I die, you all can fight over my pen collection, but it's mine until then. But I see a lot of reviewers that just focus a lot on the really expensive pens, and it just I have no interest. I don't mind the occasional expensive pen. It's kind of an aspirational thing, maybe someday. And I own a few expensive pens. But that said, my real passion is in the lower cost pens. They're fun. If I drop this Delight and it shatters, well, oh well. Not out any cash. If I'm in a hurricane and have to, well, the hurricane's in North Dakota, so blizzard, and I have to survive. Yeah, it'll break my heart to leave this Centro pen behind, but this guy, leave him behind. Get a zombie apocalypse. I still have my Schrade tactical fountain pen, so I can survive that. Fun fact, that was my first review I ever filmed in the basement. I didn't know I'd be coming back and trying to make it a permanent home. But I've rambled a lot tonight because this was really more about, than how do I just pick my pens to review. So let me just close with this. I usually stumble upon them. Amazon, other reviewers. I'm not much of an eBay shopper, but I get on there occasionally. I like to look at the vintage pens. Fountain Pen Network, I should mention that. I'm on the Fountain Pen Network forum, and FP Geeks, that's another forum. You learn about some of those pens there. Now, I will admit I haven't been contributing as regularly or reading as regularly as I used to. Just time. I have a job. The job funds these pens, but yeah, I do have a job, and it eats a lot of my time during the school year. So, yeah. But I will say with my own collection, I like exotic, especially if it's a vintage pen. I also like some of the different nibs that are out there. I like it quality. Usually I don't like metal pens, but I like that Waterman Koren. I don't like to spend a lot. I right now have not purchased any pens since sometime this summer. I want to say July, maybe June, one of those two. I just have not purchased any pens. I'm saving my money. I don't have as firm of a goal, but I had thought, wouldn't it be fun to have a Nakaya? Now, I once before saved up for a Nakaya and got to my goal actually early, and then I got there and I'm just like, ooh, that's a lot of money for a pen. So it became many pens, which I think I had more fun with. I suspect the same thing will happen here. I just got paid for some work I did this summer. In fact, the check came yesterday. $800 is pretty nice since I haven't been paid since, June 1st. So, but then my regular job, I finally get my first paycheck tomorrow. So, yeah. Anyway, a lot of rambling. I'm filming this about 9 o'clock at night, which I should be in bed, and I'm not a night person, so we'll see how it all turns out. I'll edit it together because I'm really curious looking again at my picture about the green screen. I got to lower the camera angle, I see, because there's too much vertical space here and not enough of this. Because you're thinking, when I was talking about the shirt, I just realized you never saw that, yeah, there's a lot of stuff all over it. That's what the freshmen were seeing through my shirt, which may say something about how thin my shirt was, but that's another story. So, yeah, I'll edit this together. I might read a little bit because, after video screening, you need a little reading time before you can fall asleep. But, yeah. So I hope that was interesting. I hope you didn't mind a little ramble instead of a pen review. I appreciate the chance to try out a few lighting things before I actually do them for real. I'm going to probably not use this chair, this camp chair. I'll just show you real quick the green screen. I'll get out of the way here. But the green screen is now hanging against the wall. Still has the cement behind it, but it's hanging. And I had the bottom all even, and I had everything all smoothed out. So whoops. So yeah. So I hope that was interesting. Hope you can make something out of it, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.